I went into the merger with positivity, like positive intent. I had never been part of a national firm. So I was like, it could be great.
It's funny that your dad asked you to not doing accounting just because he did so. So have you ever worked with him after you got a degree and then had experience in the industry?
I worked with him in high school and during college a couple summers. I learned how to do bank recs on paper, what he called quick posting, which was you get a client's year's worth of check stubs and you take 3 times that you could fold it, brown like columnar pad, and you write supplies and auto and like you're posting where the check should go, basically creating a GL by hand. And after I did that for 2 years, I was like, Dad, we can just buy some computer programs that'll do this for us, right? So I got him on some computer programs. And for everybody curious, like this was last millennium. So the software wasn't quite where it is today. It's like 25 years later.
It's not easy when you so young in your career and you communicate with the client when you may not have a full understanding about the big picture, what's going on in the financial statement, what's going on with in the client situation. That I know that you do have a partner next to you, but at some point you feel like I really want to speak up to talk to the client and then to show that I can do this. Do you have that feeling?
When you're so young in your career, like I liked to leverage the things I knew I was really good at. And one of those was studying. Like I was a really good student. And a lot of the people that are young in their career, early in the profession, they're really good students. Well, that means we're really good at studying. Well, guess what we have in all the clients? Lots of great data.
But you were so young at your career. And so meeting clients may seem to be pretty scary for a lot of young professionals when they are just new to the job and they have to communicate with the clients. How did you overcome that fear, or you just do not have that fear at all and you enjoy talking to clients?
So I didn't talk a lot at first, to be honest. And then when I did, I apparently didn't do it very well. And again, this is learning how to adapt to someone else's learning style. I got told, not always in a very constructive manner, all the things I did wrong in a meeting. And then it was like, all right, well, I want to avoid hearing that again. So I try to get better at the meeting. I try to take more notes and try to be productive and helpful and useful in the meeting. And I was talking to one of my college professors. I still remember the conversation with him. He was actually my audit professor. I was into tax, but we still got along. And I was telling him about, those stories, right? Where I'm not great in the client meeting rooms. I'm getting a lot of like feedback that I'm messing up.
Yeah. So since you work at a local firm, how many years that took you to be promoted to senior and manager and going on?
So it's interesting. At the local firms, my title for about 11 straight years was accountant. It didn't change. Like whether I passed the CPA exam or anything, I was an accountant. They basically bifurcated their team into owner and accountants, not owner, and administrative staff. Those were the 3 things you could be. What was helpful is we weren't chasing titles.
Yes, Leadership Academy, AICP Leadership Academy, talking about that. I think I had the best time ever in the profession, hanging around with all amazing CPAs in that Leadership Academy for a whole week. It was a great time. I love it. I can talk about that all day. So for the audience who are listening to this podcast, I know Mike is not the first AICP Leadership Academy alumni I have brought in this podcast. But again, this Leadership Academy is amazing. You should check it out. It is on AICPA website. And I think they just finished one class last week, right? Last week. I think last week.
They did. 5 minutes before we started this, Rosie, my friend texted me and she said, thank you for telling me about it. I didn't know it existed. I can't believe that I just went through that. It's the best thing that has happened to me in my career. And just thank you for coaching me through it and showing me about it. And that's what you'll get out of the alumni. It's a huge sharing community. It's not hoarding. It's not, this is mine. It's not yours. It's who else can we get this to?
How long did it take you to get over that big wall that you built by yourself, that you feel, and then you feel comfortable to who you are to go to work every day?
It was probably between 18 months and 2 years after building up the wall for 32 or 33.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in my low 30s when they had that conversation with me. And what I take out of that now when I have conversations with people is if I see anything like that or someone that might be a little bit stuck, I say, look, I went through a lot in my career. I want you to get there before I did.
So after you get that manager title, you learn how to manage people. You improve the staff relationship and then delegate the jobs. And then you move to the next company is Markham and now it's merging as CBIZ.
Yeah, so just after I made partner at Filomeno, the local firm, we had a partner meeting. I think it was my first or second one. And partners go, so Mike, just want to bring you in the loop. Like we've had a lot of conversations with this particular firm about potentially merging, and we're really considering doing it. We want to share some of the details of that with you since you're a new partner now and it could matter. I helped merge Filomeno into Markham. I was a tax leader at Filomeno, so I helped with all the tax due diligence on that stuff, which I hadn't really done before, but I'd done enough other of my clients that had sold their businesses. So that was pretty fun to go be part of a national firm's tax due diligence. And
so how do you feel after the merge?
I went into the merger with positivity, like positive intent. I'd never been part of a national firm. So I was like, it could be great. Like never done this before. Let's see what happens. That I was going to give it my very best because that's the only way I was going to know for sure if me and national firms, or in this particular one, like fit well. But the third thing that I decided that I was absolutely going to do is I was not going to change my personal value system. I know what matters to me in the accounting profession of serving clients and being loyal to a firm and being loyal to my career and in what order I place priority on those different things. And I wasn't going to compromise that. I know every firm has their own culture. And the reason why I went with that stance was because I had never done this before. I want to find out fast if we're a good fit. And I'm okay with whatever the answer is. Because at that point, if I'm doing the math right on the years, it was roughly 16 years into my career, I'd be able to get a job somewhere. Like I wasn't really worried about, like, I've learned later on that concept is called unexamined fear. Is like people are like, oh no, I can't possibly like quit or get fired because like that's terrible outcome. I'm like, well, is it? Like it was one of the thought processes I went through when somebody told me that my firm was merging.